Emerging economies have announced the formation of a business council. It's aimed at strengthening trade and investment between its 5 members: Brazil, Russia, India, China, of course, and South Africa. That decision taken at a summit in Durban to enhance own ties and reduce reliance on developed countries as the balance of global economic power shifts. And we spoke to Jose Rubens de la Rosa, who's head of the Brazilian Brics Business Council, as well as CEO of Marco Polo. And he says there'll be 5 companies per country represented in that Brics Council.
In my group, I'm representing WEG from Brazil, Banco do Brasil, another one, Gerdau, and Marco Polo, and Vale. So all of these 5 companies have an extensive experience in dealing in international affairs, and Marco Polo and WEG have, let's say, manufacturing experience in all BRIC countries. So I think that we could bring to the table of discussions the experience we have of how to, let's say, to deal with different cultures, different languages, different experience, different needs. So trying to put all of this over the table, looking to create a fair environment. Mm-hmm. So what we all need is to compete in some sense and to collaborate in other sense, meaning to put all of this together, looking to value creation. If we could create additional value, then we can share this value.
I mean, how do you see partnerships between BRICS companies going forward, given the fact that, as you say, in many instances you'll come up against another BRICS company looking for the same business? I mean, are you not going head to head essentially with each other? What opportunities do you see for partnership?
Marco Polo is doing that in different countries around the world by, let's say, just giving to the country the technology and the expertise, but all the rest being created locally. And we are doing this here in Germantown, Joburg. We have the same in India, we have the same in Russia. So what I mean, Marco Polo bus technology being brought to the country and then developing local technology, taking the, let's say, the basic technology from the original country, but the rest being developed locally by the local people, local engineers, local experts. So value being created locally.
Interesting that you say you've got exposure to all the BRICS nations. Mm-hmm. So certainly you are BRICS in action.
Yeah.
I mean, but you know, all these countries aren't homogenous. We know China and Russia certainly are very different economies, different to India.
Yes, yes.
Which is the country that you're finding most difficult to expand into right now?
I don't like to talk about difficulties in terms of difficulties, because it's not really a difficulty, but opportunities. So in every country we could see different opportunities based on the local needs. Every country has different, let's say, economic scenarios. Human capital is different.
So
let's say cost of capital is different. So we have to arrange this, but based on technology. So what we could bring to the country is what we know. And Marco Polo is a company formed 63 years ago, just dedicated to bus manufacturing. We are experts in bus manufacturing. So what we could bring to the country, our expertise on manufacturing, but all the rest will be local. What we are doing here in South Africa, we are building buses based on local engineers, local hand labor. So we just brought our technology at the beginning, and now we are developing local technology, let's say, customized to the local needs.
Where does Africa fit into Marco Polo's expansion strategy? Are you selling buses into Africa right now, using South Africa as a gateway?
We are selling buses here in South Africa, and from South Africa we are exporting to the south cone of Africa. Mm-hmm. So the countries that are nearby that are served from South Africa.
Is this a
Zambia,
big
Mozambique,
part of your
and others.
expansion strategy going forward?
Absolutely, yes, absolutely. Marco Polo is, let's say, very well spread out in the world by having or looking at different positions in order to cover, let's say, geographically cover all the world. So we are positioned in Africa. We have 2 operations, one in South Africa here, trying to cover the south cone of Africa, and the second operation in Africa is in Egypt, and there we can cover the north part of Africa, and also Middle East.
Mm-hmm. And more specifically, putting the Brazilian business hat on, representing a Brazilian private sector interest on the continent. Is there there a big thrust in terms of growing investments into Africa right now? Specifically, what deals have you seen being made, and do you see this BRICS forum accelerating that?
Yeah, absolutely. In this case, we're much more talking about, let's say, political policies, and we are seeing our government pushing Brazilian companies to work together with African country and partners.
Mm-hmm. And the last question, the BRICS Development Bank, of course, is seen as accelerating private sector investments within the BRICS nations.
Absolutely.
Is that going to help Brazilian companies in terms of their ambitions?
Absolutely. I would say that this will help all BRIC companies, because it's a bank for all. And I would say that if this bank could finance infrastructure, would be, let's say, critical, essential to the development of all of these countries. And a second situation that could be part of the process, we'll be putting this over the table, is how to hedge our currencies, because fluctuations between our currencies in all BRIC countries sometimes is one of the biggest problems to the private companies.